Hey, it's Michael Saul with the Stock Market Trading Watch List for Thursday, October 27th, 2011. Let's take a look at the indexes and some stocks. Talk about what happened on Wednesday. We gapped up nicely. We sold off. We went below Tuesday's lows, and then we reversed. News coming out of the ECB. In the end, what happened over there, I don't know. Doesn't seem like it was a real strong kind of release, a real strong kind of backstopping, but it was enough to rally the market, make this pullback just a one-day wonder. Now the real question is this going to get taken out? I mean, I'm still looking for this 200-day moving average to be tagged at a minimum, and I think we're going to get there on this next push, and if we do get there, I want to watch what we do. Do we reverse there? Do we set up a pattern intraday? Okay, do we rip through it? Do we pause? So, I mean, that's what I'm looking for here. It looks like we want to try to push higher. Is it a sure thing? Of course not. So, we have to wait and see here, and we have to wait for confirmation to see if it's going to get that push. Break of this high is first, and then we have the highs up here that have to get taken out. All right, NASDAQ 100 appeared to be weaker, but also reversed. Still closed red, but tested the 200-day, tested the 20 EMA, and held. Want to see it back over the 78.6% retracement, and then, of course, these highs. But right now, still acting well. The volume came up, but, I mean, it was on the NASDAQ, too, not just what TradeStation shows here for the NASDAQ 100. But the fact that we rallied off the lows, that's a good thing. Okay, Russell. Now, the Russell gained 1.87% and got back over the 89 EMA. I mean, the patterns here sure do look like they want to try to push higher. But confirmation, as always, is key. Here's the semiconductors. All right, a reversal. Look like up about 0.5%. Banks. Okay, so banks with a pause day, but still good action, right? Didn't dip back down into the consolidation. Look at some key ones. Here's Bank of America. We're just still under that 50-day, but I'm telling you, this wind up here, it's either going to lead to a nice squirt higher, or it's going to continue to cap the upside, and then that may lead to a roll down and retest of the lows. Let's look at the cyclicals. Okay day. All right, let's look at the brokers. Okay day, up 1.5%, and traded lower early into the 50-day, and then came back. Goldman. Where are you, Goldman? Okay, nice push higher here. So Goldman up 6%, all right, and with a nice push higher. So let's clean up these trend lines and see what happened. We popped out, pulled in, held support, and then boom. All right, so you look at MS, and not yet to the 89. Take a quick look at Leg Mason. Once again, the 89 would be resistance. GLD, watch that 50-day moving average as potential resistance. SLV, okay, closed below the open, went to the top of the range and couldn't close above it. So middle right about here, 33.68 would be resistance, and then 34.51. OIL, okay, pull back after this close below the open day on Tuesday. So let's see what it does here. Does it hold these moving averages as potential support? Apple, reversal candle. Didn't quite get the 50-day. Nice little reversal there. Amazon. All right, Amazon actually sold off later on. It didn't open near the 200 day. It opened up here and actually caught a little bit early, but then it rolled over and so far has held the 200 day. So for Thursday, I want to see how it opens here. All right, if it opens around the 200 day and it forms a morning consolidation, watch that for a potential bounce. Okay, Google, yeah, nice reversal too. Right, broke down out of this little range and then came back, wound up forming the hammer. Caterpillar. Okay, Caterpillar with the earnings a few days ago, and now look, it's consolidating here. So can it get a push up to that 200 day? We will see. But John Deere. Okay, right under the 89. Can it break above it? Priceline, somebody wrote in and said, hey, Tiny, can you look at Priceline today? It has some pretty good volatile candles here. Got some rejection off this 480, but I think this needs to at least, calm down a bit. Looks like it has some really wide range candles. So I'm going to pass on making even an opinion on that one till it calms down. Here's Netflix, right, trying to bounce again. I don't know how far it's going to get. Chipotle, it's still looking like it may want to test those highs. Definitely one to watch if the market decides to go higher and test that 200 day on the S&P. Crocs, all right, this is not a cup and handle. Somebody wrote me and asked me if this was a cup and handle. I can draw in a little consolidation here. And we'll see if this one, if it could pop out of that. This isn't really a high-risk trade because if it pops out and doesn't continue, then the stop is a move right back inside. Okay, so, I mean, I shouldn't really say it's a high-risk trade or not, because if you load the boat or go crazy, then it turns into a high-risk trade, right? But, to me, this looks like, if it's going to break, fine. If not, it breaks, and then you have such a tight stop, it's either going to be, a nice quick gain up to the moving average here for a couple of points, or it's going to be a 20 or 30 cent stop out. All right, so watch that one. Obviously, confirmation is key. All right, this isn't just like, oh, it's in a consolidation. Let's think it's going to go higher. Always wait for it to break. All right. What else? Looking at JCOM. All right, had the push up, and then a couple of hammers here. Once again, it's a little sloppy. Look at all the moving averages. I mean, they're just overlapping each other. This one's looking to make a move here eventually, right? I don't know how many days they're on, and eventually, though. eBay, the same thing, pretty sloppy. Yahoo. Okay, Yahoo, trying to trend here, trying to trend higher after hitting the low down in August. This was on one of my, I got to look at that NCL too. This isn't this was one of those didn't hit and didn't retest the lows kind of trade, right? I did a scan for this, and I probably ignored Yahoo because it was too low priced, but should not have been ignored. Looks like a nice one. Here's NLC. I had the push down on Tuesday, and then almost a recovery back up with the doji on Wednesday. So let's see if this has more to go, or it's going to pull back from here. Celgene was one we had been watching a couple weeks ago. Let's see what it's looking like now. Yeah, still just grinding higher. So that's it. Let's see if the bulls can continue it up. Grab that 200 day. Go for the glory up at the 200 day. And I will talk to you on Friday. Have a great trading day on Thursday.